Renaissance, rebirth, rebuilding, utilize the youth may find. Truth that lies with the...
Praise Jesus. We're reading Matthew chapter 15. Then came to Jesus, scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do the disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die that death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude, and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Then came his disciples, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable. And Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and it cast out into the draught? But those things which proceedeth out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defileth the man. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murderers, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. These are the things which defileth a man. But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. Then Jesus went thence, and departed into the coasts of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coasts, and cried unto them, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. And Jesus departed from thence, and came nigh unto the Sea of Galilee, and went up into a mountain, and sat down. And great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Jesus' feet, and he healed them. Insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to be whole, the lame to walk, and the blind to see, and they glorified the God of Israel. Then Jesus called his disciples unto him, and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days, and have nothing to eat, and I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. And his disciples say unto him, Whence should we have so much bread in the wilderness, as to fill so great a multitude? And Jesus saith unto them, How many loaves have ye? And they said, 7, and a few little fish. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and the fish, and gave thanks, and brake them, and gave to his disciples and the multitude. And they did eat all, and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets full. And they that did eat were 4,000 men, beside women and children. And he sent away the multitude, and took ship, and came unto the coast of Magdala. This is the word of the Lord. So another telling of the Jesus making a lot of food from a little, making a lot from a little, doing good works. This chapter starts off with Pharisees. They're always trying to gotcha Jesus. I mean, that's what it comes down to in the end, is they claim that he's committing heresy, I believe, committing heresy by saying he is God. And that's how they put him to death. But in this case, they're saying, you're breaking the traditions. You're not washing your hands in the proper way. And Jesus turns to them and says, like, these are man's traditions. God did not tell you to do this that way or such. God told you to honor your mother and father. Did you do that? No. Okay. Well, why are you talking about washing your hands? He claims that you've made, but in vain do you worship, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. That was verse 9. And then he says to them, evil things don't enter into the mouth as through food being unwashed, but evil things come out of the mouth. That is the evils of jealousy and envy, hate that man spews in his heart, or creates in his heart and spews out. And that is his metaphor. And then he tells it again because Peter doesn't seem to understand it. A woman is then following them. And Jesus in verse 26 says, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. So I'm interpreting that as Jesus is, well, this woman is the dog, and maybe the children are the children of God. So Jesus is taking care of the children of God, and this dog comes up, and Jesus is like, I can't help you. But the woman says, in rebuttal to Jesus, says that, truth, Lord, yet the dog eats of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. So she's saying, yes, I am a dog, but even the dog gets crumbs, the scraps that you're not even aware of, you don't care of. And he says that is great faith, heals her. Then he goes on to heal the multitude. And because there is a multitude with them and Jesus is going to depart, he must feed them first, because he says he doesn't want to send them out fasting lest they faint in the way. Then another miracle of, we only have, is it 7 fish, 7 loaves and the fish. But when after all's done, when they break the bread, they eat it, there are 7 baskets filled with bread. Praise Jesus. Go with God.